Hey you guys, it's Shawana here, founder of Live Love Your Passion. We're going to skip the fancy intro today because I have a topic that I really want to get into, and it's all about how you can stop experiencing so much overwhelm in your business. Now, this is just part one. I really want to talk about how you can stop experiencing overwhelm in your life in general, and so I am going to make another one of these videos to give you those tips, but today, let's just talk about it. I don't know if you are on Threads yet or if you're on Instagram, but if so, you've probably witnessed so many entrepreneurs talking about how they are overwhelmed, they are considering going back to corporate, and they're just not fulfilled with their business anymore. And I understand exactly what that's like because I had a period in my business where I experienced that, and it's normal, right? Like there are ups and downs in business. It won't always be you at the mountaintop, but sometimes it will be you in the valley. So what do you do when you're in the valley? What do you do when you are being stretched? All right, so before we get into the tips, just make sure you hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload a video. So my first tip for you, if you are feeling overwhelmed as a business owner, is to set values, not just goals. So you can set goals to infinity and beyond, especially if they are quantitative goals. You can continue to set them and set them and set them. For example, let's say you have financial goals. Well, money is infinite. It never ends. So you can set a goal of being a millionaire, being a billionaire, being a trillionaire, and you can continue to have these ambitious goals that just never end. I'm not saying that you want to put a cap on your goals, but I'm saying that you also want to set values so that when you are setting goals, you can cross-reference them with your values to make sure that you are not going after something that is going to essentially be self-sabotage. Okay, let me give you an example of that. So let's say that you have a goal of being a world-renowned speaker and you want to travel internationally. You always want to be booked and busy, right? It sounds good, but let's say that you have a value of being a family woman, being home with your children, being able to sit at the dinner table with them and ask them how their day went. Well, if you are creating a goal like being a world-renowned international motivational speaker, then most likely that is going to conflict with your values at some point. So you have to make sure that you are setting goals, but also leaving some room for the lifestyle or again, the values that you want to uphold in your life. So the second tip is to don't just hire, but replace yourself. I see so many business owners hiring people to do things in their business that they don't want to do or that they know that they just need somebody to do, but they're not thinking about hiring somebody to do what they do. And I can attest to this because I made the mistake of making my first hire a virtual assistant. I just wanted her to come in to check my emails, just do all of the admin work, but it didn't work out long term. And I realized that I had invested a lot of money in her, but it didn't really help my bottom line in my business. I was still overwhelmed. I was still overworked. I was still having to, do all of these design projects myself until it dawned on me that why am I hiring a virtual assistant that can't really help me with the bulk of the work that I do in my business, which is designing. So I hired finally a junior graphic designer. And that is when I stopped being as overwhelmed. So if you are a coach, why are you hiring everybody else except for another coach? If you are a strategist, why are you hiring all of these other people instead of somebody who can deliver strategy? And yes, it will take training. And I think that's where a lot of business owners mess up. They don't want to put in the time to develop leaders, to train them, to coach them. But if your goal is to replace yourself, then you are going to have to find somebody who's either already on your level or you're going to have to train somebody to be as good as you are. The third tip is to set boundaries. Now, I know this is very cliche. We hear this all the time, but most people think setting boundaries is just about setting boundaries in relationships with your friends, with your family, with your boyfriend, your husband. No, setting boundaries is also about setting boundaries with things, with social media, with how people can contact you. Are you letting your clients or people on your team text you at all times during the day? Are you letting them text you at all? I personally don't allow clients to text me. That is a boundary of mine, but that's not really a boundary with the relationship. It's more so a boundary with how people can contact me, right? So my people know they have to email me or they have to submit a form on my website. But it actually helps long term, because think about it. If somebody texts your phone with a problem that they're having or to book, who is the only person that can see your phone? You are. So that is why you're overwhelmed. Why wouldn't you have them communicate with you somewhere else where other people on your team have access to it? So email, in a client management or project management system, on your website, but not text. Okay. So setting boundaries, even with social media, I mentioned that earlier. So how often are you on social media? You want to set timers so that you are not always picking up the phone, checking your social media. Every single social media app has a way to set up like the little time things. I don't know what you call it, but where you can limit how much you're on that social media platform that day. You can also just completely delete it from your phone. You can put your phone in another room while you're working. So again, guys, these are all things that you want to do to set boundaries, putting hours in place that your business operates. So if your business operates from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., the laptop should close at 5 p.m. no matter what. Your to-do list is going to always be there. There's always going to be something that needs to get done. But if you are always working late and you are crossing the boundaries with your business hours, then again, that's why you're overwhelmed. The fourth tip is to raise your prices. You have been in business for a while now. You have been delivering value. You have social proof. You have worked with some amazing clients. You have gotten people results. And for some reason, your prices are still the same as they were 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Like, sis, we've had inflation since then. Your value has grown. Like, a lot of things have changed except your prices. I'm not saying raise your prices if you have not been able to do those things. I know there's some people out there that would just tell you to raise your prices just because. But no, if you are not delivering value, then keep them prices the same. But if you know you are delivering tremendous value to your clients, then why are you hustling, grinding? Raise your prices. Look at the industry experts who are on your level or higher. Also look at what they're charging. And sometimes you can't always just go off of that, because sometimes they're undercharging as well. But it goes back to you knowing what your values are. If you value rest, if you value being able to close the laptop at a certain time, then you know, okay, I can't be bogged down with projects all the time, with clients all the time. What that means is if I want to still make the same amount of income or more, I'm saying but I'm talking about you. Y'all know what I mean. Then you have to raise your prices so that you can experience the lifestyle that you truly want to live. Tip number 5 is to let your leaders lead. So I kind of already touched on this when I was talking about replacing yourself, but sometimes you do replace yourself. You do already have leaders on your team, but you are steady just taking on all the work. You feel like you're the only leader, you're the only one that can get things done. And so you are constantly putting more and more on your plate instead of letting your leaders lead. Delegate. Truly delegate. Let your people do and handle the things that you would normally handle. Are they going to make mistakes? Absolutely. Are they going to still cause fires that you might have to put out later? Yes, they will. But if you are always stepping in to help them, then they are never going to learn. Let's take having a child for example. So with my daughters, when they were young, I wanted to do everything for them, especially when they began to learn how to walk and I saw that they were about to fall, or I could tell they were going to hit something. I'm like, no, like, I'm trying to save them. But the more I tried to save them and stop them from falling, the least likely they were going to be able to get up and try again and walk on their own. The way they learned is by getting hurt. Like, ow, that hurt. Maybe I shouldn't turn my leg that way. Maybe I should just go straight with it. And they're problem solving even as babies. So imagine you trying to problem solve for these grown people that are on your team. Can't do that, sis. Let your leaders lead. All right, y'all, that is it for this video. I hope you truly enjoyed it. If you did, definitely leave a comment below. Let me know what was your favorite tip. Also, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell and share this with somebody. If you know somebody who's overwhelmed in business, definitely share this with them. And I will see you in the next video.